Hello, it is Saturday, July 15th, 2023. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It is a Saturday crossword, which means it's very possibly the toughest crossword of the week. That is often how it goes on Saturday. That's the classic expectation of this day, and a themeless puzzle. So this challenging themeless edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Emma Smith, Noah Bezanson, Madeline Lee, and as always, the invaluable Timothy Mark, the indomitable Shoalmaster, and the incredible Horan family. So thank you so much to the 6 of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their generous support. They are sustaining this channel, bringing us this series. For that, I'm incredibly grateful. So thank you to them, and thank you to everybody who's become a patron of the Daily Solve Discord. Sorry, the Daily Solve Patreon campaign. Discord is a separate thing, but thanks to those who have joined that as well, of course. You can find a link to that in the description field. Let's just get that out of the way now. Nice friendly chat community. But anyway, yes, thank you to everybody who is a patron. I really do appreciate it. And if you go to patreon.com/dailysolve or click the link in the description field, you can find the bonus videos that have been posted for patrons, such as the most recent New York Times crossword mini puzzle weekly pseudo speed solve. And that went up yesterday on Friday. Much better times than last week. I was relatively pleased with my solves, with 1 or 2 exceptions. But so that was a fun one. Anyway, thanks again to everybody who is a patron. Oh, and of course, benefactors get the official mug. All right, finally, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel if you've not gotten around to that. That's a big help, so thank you to everybody who's done that. And with that all said, let's get on to today's crossword. This is a construction by an old master, Jeff Chen. Nearly 150 New York Times crosswords to his name, an extraordinarily prolific constructor. And here he is with a new Saturday themeless, which was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. Jeff Chen is also the proprietor of the xwordinfo.com website. I'm reminded of this because I saw the other day some people in the Discord chat server were discussing solving their birthday crosswords. In other words, the New York Times crosswords that were released on the actual day of their birth and the actual year of their birth. And if your birthday came before 1993, the point in 1993 when the Will Shorts era began, that means your birthday puzzle will not be solvable in the app and on the website archive, but those puzzles are available on xwordinfo.com, which is run by today's constructor, Jeff Chen. So anyway, there's just a little plug for that website. And now let's get on to the crossword. Let's start solving and see what he's got in store for us today. And interestingly, an unusual bit of symmetry today. So we have a crossword that is not rotationally symmetrical, as is the most common form of New York Times crossword symmetry, but rather it is symmetrical about a vertical axis. So if we folded the puzzle sort of around a halfway around a vertical line, we would see the black cells matching up. And yeah, looks interesting. It obviously isn't for thematic reasons, because surely there is no theme today on a Saturday. All right, the way out is an exit, maybe. Let's just check that and see. That's a nice clue. Way out being the common British formation, and exit being the common North American formation. Mailing address abbreviation is, I mean, this might not be exit. In fact, now I'm increasingly suspecting it isn't, so never mind. My whole thing about North American and British phrases was irrelevant. So mailing address abbreviation, it could be suite, STE, or apartment, APT, or avenue maybe, or it could be too many things. Head of the bar. Well, it's not the letter B. It's not, B or some phonetic spelling of B. Head of the bar. Foam of the head of a, if you're poured a draft beer and someone pulls a beer and it's if they do it in such a way that it results in lots of foam, you could say that's the beer's head. So the head of the bar. I think that's a clever clue. I think that's probably the answer. I don't know that it gives me way out. Do some modeling. Well, if you do maybe you pose. You do some modeling work. You work as a model. Pose for a photograph or a painting. Mailing address abbreviation. Oh, right. So maybe it is apartment with that P there then. And then, oh, way out afar, as in way out far away. I was completely wrong thinking about this as exit. So that was utterly incorrect. But now we have the answer. So if something's a bit off, say it's a stir. I don't think that's right. A bit off as something. I can't tell if it's a or as there. Brand name associated with cups. I have no idea what that. I have no idea. Assume the spotlight. Take center stage, maybe? Yes, that is the right number of letters. Very pleased with that. Quite a few crosses to get there. So a bit off. Oh, skew, of course. If something's askew, it's a bit, you could say it's a bit off. And then one of many produced in a particle accelerator. Is it a meson? It's a subatomic particle of some sort. I mean, I couldn't speak to the physics of this, but I think that might be the answer. Let's see. Brand name associated with cups. Ah, I see. It's Reese's peanut butter cups. I haven't encountered those in ages. I wonder, maybe they're not very common in the UK. I'm not really sure, actually. Hasn't occurred to me to think about them in a while. But there we go. I think that's what that's referring to. The confection, the candy, Reese's peanut butter cups. There we go. All right. Natural jewelry material. Coral, maybe? You could have coral jewelry, which is natural. I mean, I suppose much jewelry is made out of natural materials, precious stones and things. Alertness. I'm annoyed because this feels like I should be able to infer what this would be based on the crosses, but I'm not sure that I do. World's largest ethnic group, representing about 18% of the global population. Surely that is Han Chinese. Chinese is a surprisingly ethnically homogeneous country, given how large it is. It's sort of unusual. Anyway, the Han Chinese, the largest ethnic group there, and I guess essentially de facto the world. All right, gulp. I'm not sure. Wolfgang Blank, pioneer in quantum physics. Oh, interesting. Here's another one I wish I could just get immediately. And tear down to the studs. So that means just sort of completely demolish or disassemble something, right? So what is that here? Informal adjective after big or good. Informal adjective. Ooh. I don't know, this whole area isn't treating me very well, is it? Where one might get into a rut. Where one might get into a rut. A canal or I don't know, I'm not sure what this is. Lacking. And Natasha Blank, Rocky and Bullwinkle antagonist. Oh, I remember those characters. Boris and Natasha from Rocky and Bullwinkle. Boris, I think Boris's name was Boris Badenov, which I think was a play on Boris Godunov, which I certainly didn't understand as a child. Natasha, I have no idea what her name was. Oh, that's a shame. Concern for a physiognomist. And to prove useful to avail yourself, to prove useful to somebody, maybe? Subjects of King Vajiralongkorn. Probably ends with an S. Unimportant workers, metaphorically. I am not... I did well in that first corner, and then not really much since then. Milk source could be a U. You could have used milk. To not just suggest something, but to avow it, to swear it to be true, I suppose, in that sense. So Natasha... Do I think it'll be alliterative and start with an N? Concern for a physiognomist. Why do I not remember? Why do I not immediately know what this is? Unimportant. Oh, unimportant workers could be cogs in a machine. There we go. You could be. Yeah, that's certainly the way that we're. Oh, so face. So face. Your physiognomy. Is that the kind of topology of your face? It must be. How do I? I can't believe I can't just immediately know that. Okay, this I certainly don't though. Natasha. Fatima. That doesn't sound remotely correct. I don't know. I don't know what this is. What have I not looked at? Oh, not this. What might be said by successful bettors or sesame seeds? I can't quite tell if this clue is saying the two sort of definitions are what might be said by successful bettors and sesame seeds, or is it what might be said by successful bettors or what might be said by sesame seeds? I think it's the latter. Maybe so from the perspective of the sesame seeds or the successful bettors, sesame seeds go on buns, kind of. I mean, I think that's kind of, they're used to make tahini. I don't see how that could end up in here. We're in something, or we're on a roll. We're on a roll. Okay, there we go. The successful bettors their bets are paying off and they're on a roll, and the sesame seeds are literally on a bread roll. Okay. Oh, fatale maybe? Natasha Fatale or Fatale or something, to indicate kind of almost a literalized femme fatale role. That looks likely. Oh, ties. Oh, this does look like a tie name, doesn't it? Okay, there we go. Those are the subjects. And then if you're lacking, you're short. If you're saying I'm lacking money, I'm short money. All right, I get it. Say no more. There we go. Okay. Not how I've immediately responded to some of these clues. Where one might get into a rut. Informal adjective after big or good. Big. I keep thinking big lie. I mean, it's not remotely correct. It's not an adjective. It's not informal. Good lie isn't really an idiomatic phrase. Tear down to the studs. Oh, I can't believe I'm not seeing that. Alertness. Oh, something eyes. Right, no wonder I didn't see this. It's not one word. So what is it? Keen eyes. You have alertness. You have keen eyes. I think that's right. Okay. Gulp. Oh, maybe not. This looks strange, doesn't it? Maybe there's something wrong. Is there any way Han is incorrect? I can't imagine that's incorrect. That has to be right. Wolfgang. Maybe keen eyes is wrong. I'm very surprised that wasn't what that was. Alertness. I don't know. I just can't say. It's so frustrating. All right, I really need this to come in at some point and help me out up there. Word after grace, perhaps. So it could be grace meaning saying grace at the table, sort of issuing thanks for food, but it could be grace meaning what? Forgiveness or good fortune, maybe? I mean, what could this mean? Word after grace, perhaps. Oh, let's eat. Oh, words after grace. Did I say words? I think I said word. I was thinking word for some reason. I was thinking a single word. That was strange. Don't know why I read that incorrectly. Oh, dirt road is where one might get into a rut. You could have ruts formed in the dirt road by wheels kind of running along it. I guess classically wagon wheels, but these days automobile wheels. All right, so gulp. And it's in brackets, which means we're not looking for a word that means gulp, but rather this is referring to the sound of someone gulping. It looks, with that exclamation point, it looks like a sort of dramatic gulp in which someone is indicating that they recognize the danger they're in or something like that. Oh, why do I not see what this open eye? Oh, right. Yeah, go into the situation with eyes open, with open eyes, with alertness. That seems plausible, actually. Okay, so then what about this? Gulp. Oh, God. Oh, right, okay, yeah, so it is that sort of recognition of danger or threat. Tear down to the studs. Oh, of course, to gut a house is to tear it down to the studs. Why did I not think of that? Oh, poly. There's the Pauli exclusion principle. What is that? That is a quantum physics. That is a quantum physics principle, or sort of observation. What? Yeah. Okay. I've read about that. I've encountered this before. So then, what is this? Informal adjective after big ol', good ol'. Okay, old being the informal adjective for old. So this is a big old crossword or good old challenging Saturday solve. There we go. Okay, no wonder I didn't get that. Okay, well, fine. What can we do next? Item that can be described by changing its last letter to a P. Right, okay. So we change this D to a P, and then we get a description. But I'm not sure what it is. Meilleur French bestie, meilleur ami, so by best friend. That would literally just be best friend. All right, there we go. Plant genus named after the Greek goddess of nature. Plant genus named after the Greek goddess of nature. I'm not sure. What about this headliner? The main act or main... someone's headlining a festival or a show. They're the main artist, the main attraction, the main group. I don't really say main group. I don't know. Main seems reasonable to me. Would you look at the time? It's too late, or I'm running late, or it's... Would you look at the time? It's getting late. It's so late. I'm kind of just grasping at straws here. Let's see if this works. Got with. No, I don't think so. Maybe saw as in dated somebody. Oh, maybe the headliner's the main actor. If someone's headlining a play, if they're on the sort of, marquee. Maybe. I don't really think of that as being a headliner. Using that specific word, selfish sort. I don't know. I'm not convinced by these. Selfish sort. Sorry, but I did just notice this right above that, which is feuille, French pastry name for its layers, millefeuille. So sort of 1,000 sheets, like 1,000 sheet, I guess you would sort of literally translate that as in sheet of paper, that meaning of sheet. So French pastry name for its layers. It's, I think it's really folded and folded and folded, and then it when it bakes, it has all those layers in it. They form parallel lines along the National Mall. Elm trees, maybe? I'm thinking with that L. This would be in Washington, D.C., in the U.S. And then blank one. And make some preparations during pregnancy. Makes some preparations during pregnancy. I'm not sure. Hustler. A con man, maybe? You hustle somebody, you con them. Blank one, right, I'm not sure about that. Make some preparations during pregnancy. Nests? I'm not really sure. I'm missing something there, probably. Early phases probably ends with an S, and this probably does as well, because it says makes. So early phases are... I don't know, thinking larvae or something, but that doesn't fit. Household sighting that one hopes is just a speck of dirt. I'm not really sure what that's getting at. Mold or a bug or something? Household sighting that one hopes is just a speck of dirt. An ant, maybe. That could be it. Early phases. Not supporting. If you're not supporting something, you're not pro-it, you're anti-it. You're against it. Nickname that sounds like its second and third letters. Andy? Oops. Like Andy McDowell from the Crossword the other day. ND? Oh no, that doesn't quite work, does it? ND. That's not Andy. Yeah, never mind. But it probably does end in E. Angie, I keep... RT. There we go. RT. I think that's probably the answer. All right, would you look at the time? Plant genus named after the Greek, right? Blank film, art film? I mean, I don't know. There's probably other possibilities. Many a Mauritanian. Interesting. Arab? Plant genus. Would you look at the time? I better go. There we go. Okay. I think this is right. So What about this? Oh, we haven't looked at this yet. Record label. Record label. So it sounds like a company that issues musical recordings, but it's probably not. It could mean a label on a literal record, a vinyl record. It could maybe mean a label on a record, meaning a sort of, recording of something important. I want it to end in content just because that sounds like something dealing with records or music or, something to that effect. Does that help with this? Plant genus? Is it Artemis? Artemisia? I just don't recognize. I have no idea if that's right. Got with. Oh, you got with someone, you met them? That could be it. Selfish sort. Oh, a user. Someone who uses people is selfish. Okay, maybe this is right. Buzz. Yeah, buzz to... Well, I was going to say ring. It could be ding, maybe. You ding the bell, you buzz the bell. I'm not sure, but it probably does end in ing. And North Macedonia joined it in 2020. Was it NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization? Headliner. Oh, the main event. Oh, right, of course. Okay. Yeah, so you could be at a music festival and say, it's the headliner, it's the main event. Yeah, okay. That looks correct. What about this? Take for a spin. So what did I think this was, R or D? Well, it doesn't look like D, does it? With these crosses, it looks like R. So to take for a spin is to turn, I suppose literally. To take something for a spin is to turn it, to spin it. Like Google searches, typically, I'm not really sure what this is referring to in a general sense, let alone the specific answer. Okay, early phases. Blank one. Oh, I just realized this art film that I was slightly skeptical about ended up being correct. All right. Blank one. Admit one. Often printed on a ticket. That says, admit one. It's one person is allowed entry from this ticket. So early phases. Onsets. Right. Okay. The onset of something could be the early phase of it. Disease or something. Like Google. Oh, sensitive? Oh, not case sensitive? Or no. No. The Google searches typically. Oh, case insensitive, right? Okay, that's interesting. I've never heard case insensitive before. I've only heard case sensitive or essentially not case sensitive. So that meaning the Google search is not sensitive to, it's not, it cares not about the cases you're using the letters, the uppercase or lowercase, the capital letters or lowercase letters. It doesn't matter. Those letters will just be interpreted as the kind of, their underlying letter regardless of that format. Okay, so there we go. Where spies work. Spies work on the inside, maybe? You could be behind enemy lines or something on the inside. Item that can be described by changing its last letter to a P. Right. Sheep. Sheet. No, it doesn't work. Shard. A shard is sharp. There we go. That's it. So you change the D to a P and you get sharp. All right. Bloody Mary request. No salt. Right. Okay. You can ask for no salt in your Bloody Mary. Never been able to really enjoy Bloody Marys. I always felt like a slight deficiency somehow. I should be able to enjoy Bloody Mary. English class largely unconcerned with the English. Oh, that's funny. American lit. So American literature would be a subset of English class referring to the English language, but not dealing with the literature of the English, of writers from the country England. Clever clue. Figure in the book of Samuel, Eli. Eli is a common priest figure in cryptic crosswords. If you see reference to a priest, often it'll be Eli. All right, record label. Oh, explicit content. It is a literal label that could be put on for ages they were on CDs. I guess they probably still are, but now I would imagine largely exist as digital. digital labels, but in any case, there we go. That's what that was. All right, tech debut of 2011. Is it Siri? Did Siri come out in 2011? I haven't a clue. Maybe the sort of Apple robot lady assistant. NFL coach Rivera. Okay, I hope it's Ron. I hope this is Siri and this is Ron. Two proper nouns. Let's see. Job actions that come with reimbursement packages in brief. Relos, maybe, if you are offered a relocation sort of offer to take a job, they might reimburse your moving expenses. Well, they probably would, given what this is. So who's in the running? I mean, this is wrong. Who's in the running? What is that? I'm not sure. Maybe this is incorrect. Who's in the running? I don't quite see it. Blank Boykins, longtime NBA player who stood at only 5'5". Again, not a clue. I mean, in 4 letters, Eddie, Ezra, Emil. No, I'm just saying names. It's useless. Oh no, and then another proper noun. Tourist town northeast of Snowbird. Boo. Okay. Classmate, e.g. And OED unit abbreviation. So when you see this kind of thing, I mean, the OED is the Oxford English Dictionary. This could mean a unit of sort of, I don't know, entry or something in the OED. So it could be something like a definition of a word or something like that. It could also be, I think, a sort of constituent unit of the abbreviation OED, the initialism OED. So it could be itself an abbreviation of Oxford or English or dictionary. I don't think Oxford can be abbreviated in a 4-letter manner, but English plausibly could, and dictionary certainly could. L would allow for Emil Boykins. I don't know. Dictionary. Do I think that looks like a name? That looks less like a name to me. Let's look at this and see if it helps anything. This could be SING, crayon alternative. Haven't looked at this clue yet. I guess I haven't looked at any of these. Writer who collaborated with Malcolm X on his posthumous 1965 autobiography. Alex, I think I know this name. Who is this? Alex something. What about this? Some bottle openers. Oh boy, I just have no idea what this is. Oh, screw. Is that what it is? Some bottle, screw top or screw case, screw. Like maybe it's referring to a corkscrew. Some bottle openers, screw. I feel like this might be how this begins. Question that suggests that's crazy. Maybe WTF, maybe it sort of implies that's ridiculous what you've just said, but it is technically a question because it begins with what. And then Alex, I'm not seeing the rest of it. Oh, this doesn't look right. Maybe this is wrong. Question that suggests that's crazy. Crayon alternative. I don't know. What about these? Title abroad. Sow for saint? Fast pace. A clip. You could be running at a clip. Fast pace. Who's in the running? Oh, running for political office. A politician. A poll. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think of that as a very sort of U.S. English kind of like jargony kind of political coverage term. Job actions that come with reimbursement packages in brief. Like, it does look like reloads, doesn't it? Why did I get rid of that? What was it that I thought didn't work with that? I can't remember anymore. Crayon alternative. Oh, oil. Maybe case insensitive is wrong. Oh, that's shocking. Is it? Oil crayon alternative. I can't believe this I'm just crawling to the finish line here at the end. Question that suggests that's crazy. Oil. Tourist town, I don't know. Classmate, e.g. Screw, some bottle openers. Screw caps? Maybe this isn't English. Oh, it does say bottle openers. So it could be either an adjective that could be applied to any number of bottle openers, or it could be a plural noun. Some bottle openers are screw cap. I keep thinking screw caps for some reason. It's just odd to think of a cap as an opener, but I suppose you do, by engaging with the screw cap, you do open the bottle. So I guess that is valid. So that would make me want to put case insensitive back in here. So OED unit, right? Okay, so it wasn't. Well, it's neither definition nor Oxford English or dictionary. So what is it in fact? OED unit. A synonym? A sense of a word? Can't abbreviate that in 4 letters. Oh, no. Oh, a classmate with a P could be a peer. One of your peers. Your classmate would be a peer. So the EG means, essentially for example. So a classmate is an example of a peer. It's not a synonym of the word peer. Okay, well, maybe this is Ezra Poikins. That seems very unlikely. I don't think that's the case, that this would end that way. OED unit. I hope this isn't a name I've seen in the crossword a whole number of times, which would make this more embarrassing. OED unit abbreviation. A syllable of a word? I like that better than sentence, but I don't find it incredibly. Oh, oil pastel. I don't think I even know that as a phrase. Oil pastel. I guess it just means a pastel shade of an oil paint. Is that what that is getting at? Crayon alternative, an oil pastel. Yeah, I mean, you want to get colors on a page? Oh, so Earl Boykins? Okay, that wasn't even one of the names that had occurred to me. Alta. That's a town. That's a sort of ski town I think I've heard of before. So, oh, Alex Paley. Is that? No, Alex Haley. Alex Haley. I absolutely have heard that name. That doesn't work with this. WHA? What? Oh, no, it's just, sorry. I'm sorry, everybody. It's just wah. It's just wah, ba, huh? I'd gotten myself into thinking of this as an abbreviation, a sort of texting language abbreviation. Okay, so Alex Haley is correct. Okay, good. So that sort of scratched something in the recesses of my memory, and there we go. And that was a struggling Saturday solve, as you just witnessed, I suppose. So, yeah, tough one for me, I thought. Let me know how you fared with this one. What was it I found difficult about this? I always find it difficult to then remember why I found these difficult after I've just completed them, because obviously now I know all the answers. I suppose there were just some things like this that I couldn't immediately just see. They felt like they could be a number of things. This was surprisingly difficult. When I started explaining how this worked, I thought it was going to be very straightforward, and then it took me ages to come to syllable, which I guess would be a unit in the bit where they explain how a word is pronounced. They break it into phonetic syllables. So that's what that was. What else was tough? Explicit content took a while. Artemisia took a while. I thought of Artemis early, but I wasn't confident enough that she was actually the Greek goddess of nature, so I kind of waited till I had more crosses. Headliner, main event, that took ages as well for whatever reason. And so did I Better Go. Yeah, it's funny. These well, Artemisia isn't household language for me, but these things like main event and I Better Go, I feel like it took me much longer than they should have. I suppose because they're kind of vague, general phrases. They're not incredibly memorable phrases, whereas Take Center Stage, for some reason, felt more specific in my mind, so it was easier for me to jump to that. Yeah, anyway, interesting crossword. Very, it's well constructed. I like this. I like this little sort of funnel of words here. We're on a roll. Say no more. Let's eat shard, Eli. Just a nice little sort of descending length pattern there. Anyway, that was the crossword for Saturday. Well done to Jeff Chen for giving me a challenge throughout. And now, let's look at, I think, two clues from yesterday's puzzle, to which there were responses in the comment section on yesterday's video. So, Time Gentleman explains, this is sort of just giving me a better way to read a clue, essentially. A despot is, quote, unlikely to rule in your favor, which was the clue. I think it was something like one who's unlikely to rule in your favor, in that they are unlikely to rule over you in a way you find unfavorable. I think that's a slightly better interpretation than what I have. I was thinking a despot in, I think I was imagining sort of being accused of a crime or something, and a despot would, not give you the benefit of the doubt or something, but I think this is a better general reading. And then Stephen Giblin explains how ERA, what that's all about in baseball, which I think I properly remembered as earned run average, but certainly didn't know the slightest thing about with respect to its actual meaning. So the earned run average is the stat that measures how many earned runs a pitcher allows per 9 innings pitched. An earned run is a run scored by the team at bat that has not been scored without the aid of any errors committed by the team in the field. All right, so it's essentially, how many runs is this pitcher letting through, basically. So you want it to be low. And then also the Leafs are the Toronto Maple Leafs. So that was the team that I did not know. And now that I hear it, I'm sure I've heard it before, but it was not resident in my brain for immediate crossword access. All right, there we go. That was today's video. Those are some clues from yesterday's puzzle. Thank you so much for joining me for this tricky Saturday crossword. Let me know how you found it difficulty-wise and in terms of your overall enjoyment of it. And with that, I'll be back tomorrow for the Sunday crossword, a big themed grid full of clues, full of lots of clues. It'll take I was going to say it'll take longer than this one, but often a Sunday puzzle does take about half an hour. So maybe it won't take longer than this crossword. We'll have to see. You'll have to come back tomorrow and find out. I hope you do. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Saturday. Take care.